Hello, my name is Hasan Sorrells, and this is the Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast shorts. There's no co-host on these shorts episodes. These are now around 2 to 4 minute, sometimes as long as 6 to 10 minute observations, ideas, thoughts, or rants about the literature, philosophy, psychology, and even the theology of leadership. Because listening to me talk about leadership for now around 2 to 4 minutes is still better than reading and trying to understand yet another business book. Even that business book your coworker won't stop raving about because it quote-unquote changed their life, but you can't see any difference in their leadership behavior. So how good could that author be? There are books that challenge us, entertain us, and change us, but only if we as readers allow them to do so. However, intellectual pride and ignorant hubris are two diseases, much like cancer and diabetes, that can kill the health of the mind as surely as the ones I've mentioned can destroy the life of the body. But intellectual pride in and of itself is sneaky and shifty, and ignorant hubris is stubborn and hard to dynamite psychologically out of our minds. They move around in our language, in our attitudes, in our postures, and in our mindsets, and they also tend to hide in plain sight. And often, we don't see them or their impacts until someone else points them out to us. Books are a neutralizing agent for all this. Books, if we let them, can change us. They can move us. They can mold us. Education, however, doesn't neutralize either intellectual pride or ignorant hubris because, particularly in our particularly benighted time in the West in general and in America in particular, we know so much about so very little. This is why the decline of reading and the return to a pre-literate mean of existence, lying at the pinnacle of technological sophistication and cultural barbarity, is sure to be the apotheosis of our civilizational future if we don't get a hold of it. Reading, the act of understanding and comprehending words on the printed page and of allowing those words to drip inside of us and to change us, mold us, and shift our thinking, our behavior, and our attitudes is one of the greatest gifts mass literacy ever bestowed upon people in the West. And now, in the year of our Lord, 2025, now we are poised on the cusp of all of that being over. We may even have passed over the brink collectively as an American culture of that being over and just don't realize the implications of such a passing fully. The hardest thing in the next 25 years is going to be dealing with the results of all these people running around, technologically sophisticated, culturally barbaric, and deeply ignorant, and of course prideful and hubristic, on how to return to a more humble and traditional mean. It's going to be a real challenge. And books will help us overcome that challenge, but only if we let them. And well, that's it for me. Thank you for listening to the Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast today. And now that you've made it this far, you should subscribe to the audio version of this show on all the major podcast players, including Apple iTunes, Spotify, YouTube Music, and everywhere else where podcasts are available. There's also a video version of our podcast on our YouTube channel. Like and subscribe to the video version of this podcast on the Leadership Toolbox channel on YouTube. Just search for Leadership Toolbox and hit the subscribe button there on YouTube. And while you're doing that, leave a 5-star review if you like what we're doing here on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Just go below the player and hit 5 stars. We need those reviews to grow, and it's the easiest way to help grow this show. And tell all your friends, of course, in leadership. By the way, if you don't like what we're doing here, well, you can always listen to another leadership show. There are several other good ones out there. At least that's what I've heard. All right. Well, that's it for me.